Hello, everyone. Today we will take a look at famous actors who are currently passively in prison. Little known but surprising and shocking stories in the entertainment world. From the famous stars who once made waves on the screen to the seemingly light names that have disappeared, all have dark secrets behind the halo. Do you know any of them? If so, leave the number 1. If not, comment the number 0. Discover the truth behind the famous names and don't forget to enjoy the video until the end. Please like and subscribe to the channel to support us to make more interesting content. Allison Mack, renowned for her role in the series Smallville, became the center of a shocking case in 2018 when she was arrested for her involvement in human trafficking and conspiracy linked to the NXIVM organization. This organization was described as a secretive network that engaged in remarkably exploitative practices. The police investigation uncovered Mack's involvement in enticing women to join the organization, founded by Keith Raniere, who faced allegations of human trafficking and forced labor. Although she was released on bail, Mack was still confronted with significant legal repercussions. In 2021, she received a sentence of 3 years in prison, followed by 3 years of probation, 1,000 hours of community service, and a $20,000 fine. After serving 21 months, Mack was released in July 2023. Her descent from a television star to a convicted criminal serves as a stark reminder of the dangers associated with power and its abuse in a world rife with temptations. Her story is not only a serious warning but also highlights the importance of remaining vigilant against the allure of power and exploitation. In downtown Los Angeles, Zach Avery, an actor struggling with big dreams but modest talent, found himself trapped in the relentless cycle of auditions and rejections. Frustrated and desperate for success, Zach hatched a bold plan. From 2014 to 2019, Zach transformed himself into a smooth-talking con artist, weaving grand tales to convince hundreds, including his loved ones, to invest in his fictitious movie rights scheme. With promises of lucrative deals with streaming giants like Netflix and HBO, Zach amassed a fortune by exploiting the trust of others. But behind the facade of success lay a dark truth. Zach's promises were nothing more than illusions. In reality, Zach was running a Ponzi scheme using money from new investors to pay off old debts while continuing his deceit. Eventually, the law caught up with Zach, and he was sentenced to 20 years in prison, forced to face the consequences of his actions. He was also ordered to repay over $230 million to his victims. As Zach languished in prison, his downfall served as a stark reminder of the dangers of chasing dreams through dishonest means. His story echoed throughout Hollywood as a cautionary tale about the importance of integrity and honesty in the pursuit of success. William Hayden is a prominent American television personality, best known for his leading role on the reality show Sons of Guns on the Discovery Channel. The show focused on the crafting and repair of firearms while providing insights into military culture and weaponry. Prior to his rise to fame, Hayden was an experienced gunsmith and established his own firearms business. His television presence quickly garnered attention from viewers due to his in-depth knowledge and strong personality. However, Hayden's career suffered a severe blow in 2014 when he was arrested and faced serious charges related to sexual crimes. These allegations not only damaged his reputation, but also marked the end of his television career. In 2017, Hayden was sentenced to 3 life terms, plus an additional 40 years in prison without the possibility of parole. Will Hayden's story serves not only as a reflection of fame, but also as a stark reminder of the serious repercussions that can arise from personal actions. Jen Shah is best known for her role on Bravo's The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, where she is recognized for her sharp remarks and dramatic personality. However, in March 2021, she faced criminal charges related to money laundering and wire fraud. Along with her assistant, Shah was accused of running a phone scam targeting elderly victims, defrauding them of significant amounts of money by offering services like website creation and business coaching that were essentially worthless. Reports reveal the heartbreaking stories of victims such as 75-year-old Tricia from North Carolina, who invested over $47,000 in business coaching services. Another victim, World War II veteran Ralph Hick, lost more than $100,000. Sadly, Hick passed away at the age of 92, and his family believes that the scam was a contributing factor to his death. Text messages between Shah and her accomplices indicated they discussed strategies to keep victims engaged and make them spend more money. Initially pleading not guilty, Shah later admitted to wire fraud. She was sentenced to 6.5 years in prison and is currently serving her time at the Federal Correctional Institution Bryan in Texas, with the possibility of parole in August 2028. Actor Jeffrey Jones may not be a household name for everyone, but his unforgettable performances in classic films like Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Beetlejuice helped cement his place in Hollywood history. Known for his ability to balance humor, depth, and even menace, Jones built a career as a versatile supporting actor. However, behind his success and excellent performances lies a major scandal that ultimately overshadowed his legacy and damaged his public image. Born in Buffalo, New York in 1946, Jones showed a passion for acting from a young age. He studied drama at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art before honing his acting skills on stage. By the late 1970s, Jones transitioned to film and television, where his expressive face and commanding voice helped him carve out a niche in eccentric, often authoritative roles. His breakthrough moment came in 1986 with Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where he played Edward R. Rooney, the bumbling school principal obsessed with catching Ferris skipping school. Jones's performance turned Rooney into one of the most memorable villains of the 1980s, solidifying his reputation as a popular comedic talent. Jones's success continued with his role as Charles Dietz, the stressed-out father of a family that accidentally moves into a haunted house in Tim Burton's Beetlejuice in 1988. Jones showcased his versatility by shifting from the villainous Rooney to a quirky yet endearing father. His collaboration with Burton continued in films like Ed Wood and Sleepy Hollow, further solidifying the range of his acting. Jones also delivered an outstanding performance in Amadeus as Emperor Joseph II, where his blend of authority and humor earned praise from critics. By the 1990s, he had become a familiar face in Hollywood, beloved for his unique energy and ability to elevate any role. However, in 2002, Jones faced serious legal trouble when allegations of inappropriate conduct were raised. Reports indicated that he was involved in activities that led to an investigation uncovering troubling evidence. These allegations marked a major turning point in his career, shocking both fans and colleagues. The incident caused his career to come to an abrupt halt and sparked widespread public discussion. In 2003, Jones entered a no-contest plea and received a sentence of 5 years of probation, mandatory counseling, and lifetime registration as a sex offender. The fallout from this scandal was immediate and severe. Hollywood shunned Jones and his burgeoning career plummeted, leaving him with only minor roles. The public found it difficult to separate him from his offenses, and studios and directors steered clear. Jones's past achievements were overshadowed by his personal actions. If you're finding this content compelling, feel free to hit the like button now to support the channel, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Just one click makes a huge difference in motivating us to create more quality videos. Now let's move on to the next individual. Ian Watkins, the former lead singer of the emo band Lost Prophets, shocked the world and hurt his loyal fans when he was arrested at the end of 2012 on multiple charges related to minors. Known as a voice for outsiders and an inspiration to many, Watkins's downfall became a shocking turn of events that few could have imagined. Initially, both fans and band members supported Ian Watkins, but they were forced to withdraw their support as the severity of his crimes was revealed. The evidence of child abuse that Watkins committed was some of the most shocking and painful that police had ever encountered. Ultimately, Watkins pleaded guilty to several charges, including possession of illegal materials and other serious offenses, to spare the jury from confronting the horrific evidence. He was sentenced to 29 years in prison, along with an additional 6 years of supervised release. Since being incarcerated, Watkins's health and appearance have deteriorated significantly, making him nearly unrecognizable, although some fans and old friends still visit him. His reputation as a musician has been permanently destroyed. Amy Locane, an actress known for her role in John Waters' musical comedy Cry Baby, and as Sandy Harling in the first season of Melrose Place, faced a tragic incident on June 27, 2010, when she was involved in a fatal car accident in Montgomery, New Jersey. While driving at high speed, Locane collided with Fred Seaman's vehicle, resulting in the tragic death of his 60-year-old wife, Helene Seaman. Subsequent tests revealed that Locane's blood alcohol level was nearly 3 times the legal limit. As a result, she was convicted of vehicular manslaughter and aggravated assault, by Otto initially receiving a 3-year prison sentence. However, after several court rulings and reviews, her sentence was increased to 8 years in September 2020. Locane is currently serving her time at a women's correctional facility and is expected to serve more than 6 years before being eligible for parole. The case attracted considerable public attention, igniting debates about the legal system and sentencing practices in New Jersey, raising questions about accountability and road safety. Locane's story is not only a personal tragedy, but also a stark reminder of the serious repercussions of driving under the influence. Michael Jace, best known for his role in the television series The Shield, faced a tragic turning point in his life when he was charged with murdering his wife, April Jace. The incident occurred on May 20, 2014, when April was found dead from a gunshot wound. Jace called the police and confessed to his actions. Following his arrest, details of the case gradually emerged, leading to a highly publicized trial. On June 10, 2016, Jace was sentenced to life in prison. His actions not only shocked the community, but also left his fans and colleagues in disbelief and mourning. Michael Jace's story is a poignant reminder of the horrific consequences of violence and the vital importance of supporting victims. It also highlights the relentless efforts of law enforcement to secure justice and protect those affected by acts of violence. Ryan Grantham, a 24-year-old actor famous for his roles in television and movies, shocked the world when he committed a heinous crime in 2020. Grantham pleaded guilty to second-degree murder of his mother, Barbara Waite, and was sentenced to life in prison with no eligibility for parole for 14 years. According to CBC, during a June hearing in Vancouver, the court heard the horrifying details of the crime. Grantham fatally shot his 64-year-old mother in the back of the head while she was playing the piano on March 31, 2020. Even more disturbing, he recorded a video confession of the murder and hid her body. The shocking story doesn't end there. The day after the murder, Grantham loaded his car with 3 guns, ammunition, 12 Molotov cocktails, and camping gear with the intent to attack Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. However, he changed his mind and decided to turn himself in to Vancouver police. Presiding Judge Kathleen Kerr called Grantham's decision not to carry out the attack his saving grace. Psychiatric reports presented in court showed that Grantham had expressed a desire to harm himself, along with feelings of self-hatred and guilt after killing his mother. According to CBC, the court concluded that Grantham had been battling depression for months before the murder. They determined that he killed his mother to prevent her from witnessing the violence he had planned. Tay-K, one of the youngest artists on this list, is currently serving a 55-year prison sentence. In 2017, he was gaining traction in the hip-hop scene with his hit The Race, making its way up the Billboard Hot 100 chart, but everything changed on the very day the song was released. After 3 months on the run, he was arrested by the police. Unfortunately, Tay-K was connected to serious criminal cases. In 2016, Tay-K took part in a home invasion that resulted in the death of a young man named Ethan Walker. The initial plan was to rob a drug dealer and his friends. Tay-K was placed under house arrest for these charges, but that wasn't his style. He cut off his ankle monitor and fled, even bragging about it on Twitter, daring the police to catch him. While on the run, Tay-K's situation worsened when he got involved in a robbery that resulted in a man's death outside a Chick-fil-A in Texas. On top of that, he attacked and robbed a 65-year-old man who later identified him to the police. Since 2017, Tay-K has been in custody and is facing a minimum of 27.5 years in prison before he can be considered for parole. Joe Sun, known for his minor role in the first Austin Powers film, attracted attention not for his acting career, but for the serious crimes he committed. His life took a dark turn with convictions for violent acts, sexual assault, and manslaughter. In 2011, he was convicted of torturing and sexually assaulting a victim in Huntington Beach. Later, he faced an additional manslaughter charge related to the death of his cellmate Michael Graham while serving his sentence. Joe Sun's criminal history began in 1990 with a terrifying case involving kidnapping, sexual assault, and threats against a woman on Christmas Eve. Initially evading detection, he was later connected to the crime through DNA evidence after a conviction for felony vandalism. Despite a brief moment in the spotlight, Joe Sun's criminal acts eclipsed any semblance of a career. His violent and predatory actions ultimately led to imprisonment and even death while incarcerated. Joe Sun's story serves as a stark reminder of the severe and lasting consequences of criminal behavior, underscoring the profound harm inflicted on victims and society alike. Kyalan Rashad Walker serves as a striking example of the abuse of power and trust in the online world. He exploited his public image and social media tools to reach out to victims, crafting a facade of personal connection and interest. Walker not only deceived, but also manipulated the admiration and trust of fans, especially vulnerable young women, to perpetrate abuse. Walker's 50-year prison sentence is a significant milestone in holding sexual offenders accountable and ensuring they face serious consequences for their actions. However, continued efforts to strengthen victim protections and improve the legal system remain crucial. Walker's case sends a powerful warning to society and the justice system about the vital role of protecting and supporting vulnerable individuals while ensuring that perpetrators are fully held accountable under the law. Zara Fithian, 39, and her husband, Victor Mark, 59, recently faced trial at Nottingham Crown Court in the UK, where they were convicted of 14 counts of sexual abuse. Their crimes took place from 2005 to 2008, when the victim was still a minor. According to BBC testimony from the victim identified as A, detailed the couple's brutal abuse. The victim reported being threatened into silence and feeling unable to escape the situation. Additionally, Victor Mark faces 4 additional charges after another woman accused him of sexually abusing her between 2002 and 2003 when she was under 18. Senior Investigation Officer Parander Dillon expressed appreciation for the courage of both victims and hoped that the sentencing would bring them some comfort. He also emphasized that this case would serve as a cautionary lesson for others. Adidja Palmer, better known as Vybz Kartel, is a renowned reggae and dancehall artist from Jamaica, once celebrated globally. However, his life took a turn when he was allegedly involved in the theft of a firearm he believed Clive "Lizard" Williams had stolen. In retaliation, Kartel was said to have plotted Williams' death. Unlike another musician we'll discuss later in this video who ended up in prison after mistakenly targeting an innocent homeless man, Kartel faced significant legal troubles of his own. On December 29, 2011, authorities arrested Kartel, charging him with drug possession and illegal firearms. Although he was granted bail on these charges, he remained in custody due to his involvement in Clive Williams's murder. Kartel's trial faced significant delays, including a 3-year postponement due to challenges in jury selection. Finally, on November 18, 2013, an 11-member jury found him guilty after a 65-day trial, one of the longest in Jamaican history. Consequently, Kartel was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after serving 32 years and 6 months. This means he could be considered for release in 2046, in case you were wondering about the timeline. As for R. Kelly Robert, his legal troubles began in the 1990s, but he was not formally indicted until 2021. In the early 2000s, he was one of the most popular R&B artists, but now he is serving a prison sentence for charges including human trafficking and sexual abuse. R. Kelly's troubles first came to light in 1994 when he was accused of persuading singer Aaliyah to falsify her birth certificate so they could marry while she was still underage. Disturbing events continued to emerge in the following years, including allegations that R. Kelly injured a woman in 1996. By 2002, videos documenting his inappropriate behavior with minors circulated widely, and a camera of his containing inappropriate images was confiscated. Despite this evidence, the charges were eventually dismissed due to insufficient convincing proof. However, the case did not end there. R. Kelly was accused of holding multiple women as hostages in a harmful environment, and as this information spread, many women courageously came forward to accuse him of abuse. As a result, R. Kelly was sentenced to 30 years in prison in June 2022. Toby Willis is a shocking revelation behind the once-beloved TLC show featuring the Willis clan, a musical family led by Toby Willis and his 12 children, who captivated audiences with their talent. Their journey took them to the quarterfinals of America's Got Talent in 2014, where they received widespread praise and admiration from viewers nationwide. But few were aware of the dark truth hidden behind the image of the Willis family, a secret that could have destroyed their entire reputation. Beneath the warm and loving facade of the family lay a horrifying reality. Toby Willis was, in fact, an unlawful sexual predator, targeting 4 girls, including his 3 daughters and a relative, while they were under the age of 18. This heartbreaking truth came to light in 2016, when a brave victim decided to speak out and report the abuse to authorities. Toby Willis was arrested, and even more disturbing details were uncovered. In 2017, he pleaded guilty to 4 counts of sexual abuse of a minor, permanently tarnishing the image he had built in the public eye. He was subsequently sentenced to 40 years in prison without the possibility of parole and ordered to pay a staggering $1.4 million to his victims. Additionally, he was required to register as a sex offender for life. The repercussions of his heinous crimes rippled through his entire family. Bill Cosby was once one of America's most famous comedians and television producers, widely known as the father of the American family through the hit show The Cosby Show. With his image as a model father, he captured the hearts of audiences and became a cultural icon for decades. His charming humor and unique storytelling helped establish his brand and made Cosby one of the most influential stars of the 1980s and 1990s. However, his illustrious career quickly collapsed when numerous sexual assault allegations surfaced, shaking the entertainment industry and American society. In 2018, after a lengthy trial with extensive evidence presented, Bill Cosby was convicted of sexually assaulting Andrea Constand. This case was not only a shock to his fans, but also sparked movements demanding justice and rights for sexual assault victims worldwide, helping to change how society views and handles similar cases. Currently, Bill Cosby is serving his sentence in a Pennsylvania state prison under strict supervision and with many daily restrictions. His case has not only changed the way people view celebrities, but also serves as a profound warning about the seriousness of sexual violence in modern society. It is also a valuable lesson in responsibility and ethics, reminding us that fame and power cannot hide the truth or justice. Before Young Thug released hits like Pick Up the Phone and Lifestyle, he was reportedly involved in several gang-related crimes. On May 9, 2022, the rapper was arrested on charges related to conspiracy and gang activity dating back to 2013. There are a total of 56 different charges against him, many of which are very serious. One of the charges links him to the rental of an Infiniti Q50 sedan that was used in the murder of a rival gang member, Donovan Thomas Jr. In addition to the conspiracy and gang-related charges, Young Thug faced further allegations after police raided his home. He was charged with possession of controlled substances with intent to distribute. Additionally, the police discovered several dangerous weapons in his residence, including sawed-off shotguns and rifles. More gang-related charges were added to his record. Young Thug is affiliated with the YSL Street Gang, and 27 other gang members are also facing criminal charges. He is currently in custody awaiting trial set for January 9, 2023. If convicted, he could face up to 20 years in prison. Austin Jones rose to fame with his singing videos on YouTube, including covers and original songs attracting over 500,000 subscribers and millions of views. However, in 2015, Jones unexpectedly canceled his upcoming Vans Warped tour and posted a YouTube video in which he acknowledged the allegations against him and expressed remorse. On June 9, 2017, authorities searched Jones's home under a warrant issued by a U.S. federal judge. That same day, Jones was arrested at O'Hare International Airport. He was subsequently sentenced to 10 years in federal prison on May 3, 2019. Shockingly, during the investigation, it was revealed that several other individuals had also attempted to cover up his misconduct. As a result, Jones's YouTube channel was removed. Danny Masterson's journey reflects the classic tale of highs and lows, with success overshadowed by turmoil. Born in Long Island, New York in 1976, Masterson gained fame playing Stephen Hyde in the hit television series That 70s Show, captivating audiences with his mysterious character. However, his career took an unexpected turn in the mid-2010s when serious allegations of sexual assault surfaced, tarnishing his once bright image. The major shock came in June 2020, when Masterson officially faced 3 charges of sexual assault. The public legal battle and proceedings have cast a dark shadow over Danny Masterson's personal and professional life. The fallout was swift, with his talent agency severing ties and distancing him from the industry that once embraced him. As of 2023, at age 47, Masterson remains in legal limbo. Public focus on the case highlights the complexities of fame, power, and accountability in entertainment. The case's outcome is bound to shape his future, profoundly impacting his career and personal legacy. Born in Des Moines, Iowa in 1947, Collins pursued acting from a young age, studying at prestigious institutions and honing his skills on stage. His talent for both serious and lighthearted roles quickly helped him rise in Hollywood, with performances in iconic works such as Star Trek, the motion picture Jumping Jack Flash, and The First Wives Club. By the mid-1990s, Collins had become a familiar and respected figure in the industry. When Seventh Heaven premiered in 1996, Collins became a household name. The show, which followed a pastor and his large family as they faced life's challenges through a moral compass, resonated with audiences. The themes of family values and faith captivated viewers, and Collins' portrayal of Reverend Camden made him an ideal role model for audiences of all ages. Over 11 seasons, the show became a staple of family programming, and Collins' character became synonymous with integrity and wisdom. However, in 2014, during a legal dispute, past allegations against Collins were brought to light. The details of these allegations shocked and disappointed the public, as they contradicted the wholesome image he had built. These revelations led to an immediate backlash, with Collins losing career opportunities and Seventh Heaven being pulled from some broadcasting platforms. Although the nature of the allegations meant that legal action could not be pursued due to their age, the scandal had long-lasting consequences for Collins' career and reputation. He then publicly expressed his regret, but the damage to his public image was irreversible. Fans of Seventh Heaven struggled to reconcile the beloved character with the man behind the role. Although Collins issued a public apology and showed remorse, his efforts to address the issue could not restore the public's trust. The scandal marked the end of his career and tarnished the legacy of Seventh Heaven, a show once regarded as a symbol of wholesome entertainment. Collins' story serves as a lesson in the complex intersection of public trust and accountability, leaving behind a legacy marred by controversy and disappointment. Throughout the trial, Weinstein's legal team resorted to sexist arguments attacking the credibility of the victims. They even went so far as to insult Jennifer Siebel Newsom, an actress and the wife of California Governor Gavin Newsom, by labeling her a shallow woman in an effort to weaken the Me Too movement. Although Weinstein pleaded for leniency, portraying himself as a frail 70-year-old man in poor health and emphasizing his contributions to the industry, the court remained steadfast. His sentencing brought closure to his victims and served as a stark reminder of the entrenched issues of power abuse and sexism within the entertainment industry and society at large. Harvey Weinstein, the disgraced film producer whose predatory actions spurred the Tower Me Too movement, received an additional 16-year prison sentence in Los Angeles on top of the 23-year sentence he's already serving in New York for sexual abuse and assault. In December 2019, a Los Angeles jury found Weinstein guilty of molesting and sexually assaulting a woman known as Jane Doe 1. Her emotional testimony underscored the deep trauma she endured, emphasizing that no sentence could truly erase her suffering. Became famous in the late 1990s under the stage name Big Lurch. His debut album was not well received, causing further difficulties after he was hit by a drunk driver, resulting in a broken neck. To cope with the pain from the accident and the frustration from his career failure, Big Lurch started using PCP. Unfortunately, he didn't just use PCP for pain relief, but became severely addicted. He stopped eating or drinking, continuing to use drugs, which led to hallucinations and a complete loss of touch with reality. Under the influence of this stimulant, he believed demons were living in his roommate's stomach. Singleton is not a small person. He stands 6'7", while his roommate was just a 21-year-old girl. She had no chance to defend herself when he attacked and caused her death. The drugs he used played a significant role in this horrifying case. When discovered after the brawl, he appeared like a madman, seemingly unaware of the horrifying act he had just committed. In November 2003, Big Lurch was sentenced to life in prison without parole due to the heinous nature of his crime. He was not allowed to plead insanity due to drug influence before the incident. Jim Gordon was a respected drummer in the realms of blues and rock music, known for his collaborations with Eric Clapton and Alice Cooper. However, amid the applause and fame, Gordon grappled with a silent torment, schizophrenia. Auditory hallucinations, including the voice of his mother, constantly haunted him. Despite his efforts to seek help, he was misdiagnosed with alcoholism, allowing his mental state to deteriorate further. Tragically, Gordon lost control under the grip of psychosis, with the voices urging him to commit a terrible act. In a moment of madness, he turned against his own mother, leading to a devastating outcome. Arrested in 1983, Gordon was correctly diagnosed with schizophrenia, shedding light on his anguish. Initially sentenced to 16 years in prison, his continued threat to society resulted in his extended incarceration. His story highlights the complexities of mental illness and the tragic consequences of untreated conditions. Despite his significant musical legacy, Gordon's life serves as a somber reminder of the silent struggles endured by many and the imperative need to understand and address mental health challenges. The murder case of C-Murder gained significant attention in 2003 when this retired rapper was arrested for killing a fan's 16-year-old student, Stephen Thomas. Corey Miller, known by his stage name C-Murder, has consistently maintained his innocence since the incident. The case stemmed from a rap battle in 2002 when Thomas bumped into a member of C-Murder's group, leading to a frightening altercation that ended with Thomas being shot dead. Crucially, 2 witnesses came forward testifying that they were coerced by the police to identify C-Murder as the perpetrator. Darnell Jordan, a security guard present at the crime scene, admitted that he was arrested and detained until he agreed to cooperate and testify against C-Murder. This case also attracted the attention of Kim Kardashian in 2020, who made efforts to expose the truth. However, despite her efforts, C-Murder remains imprisoned, serving a life sentence. The only way for him to be released is to provide strong enough evidence to prove his innocence and identify the true culprit of the crime that occurred on that fateful night. Shelly Malil's name may not be familiar to many, but for fans of the comedy The 40-Year-Old Virgin. 2005, he is one of the memorable characters, a quirky co-worker with standout comedic talent. Born in 1964 in Kerala, India, Malil moved to the United States as a child and grew up in Texas, where his passion for acting began to develop, leading him to perform in local theater productions. With a background in theater, Malil moved to Hollywood in the early 1990s, determined to make a name for himself, even though roles for Indian American actors were still limited at the time. His perseverance paid off when he landed small but memorable roles in shows like NYPD Blue, The West Wing, and Scrubs. Malil's breakthrough role came in The 40-Year-Old Virgin, where he played Aziz, a co-worker to Steve Carell's character. His comedic performance and interactions with the cast left a strong impression, contributing to the film's success both commercially and critically. The movie propelled several stars, including Carell, Seth Rogen, and Paul Rudd, to new heights. For Malil, it was his most prominent role, bringing him widespread recognition and opening up more opportunities in Hollywood. However, despite his recognized comedic talent, Malil's career did not rise to the same level as his peers in the film. In 2008, his life took a dark and shocking turn. On August 10th of that year, Malil brutally attacked his ex-girlfriend, Kendra BBE, stabbing her over 20 times at her home in San Marcos, California. The attack, driven by jealousy, left BBE with severe injuries and permanently altered her life. Witnesses described Malil's uncontrollable rage, and neighbors hearing the commotion called the police. BBE survived the attack but underwent extensive medical treatment and suffered lasting psychological trauma. Malil was arrested and charged with attempted premeditated murder and assault with a deadly weapon. During the trial, prosecutors portrayed the attack as calculated and cruel, emphasizing the severity of BBE's injuries and the intent behind Malil's actions. Although he claimed to have lost control in a moment of anger, the jury found Malil guilty. In 2010, he was sentenced to 12 years to life in prison. The sentence marked the end of Malil's career, highlighting the stark contrast between his cheerful on-screen persona and the brutality of his real-life actions. Thank you for watching today's video about the stars currently rotting in prison. We hope these stories have given you a better understanding of their lives in challenging circumstances and the pressures they face. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss any exciting content in the future. See you in the next video.